Good evening, guys. Finally, oh my goodness, I must first of all apologize for the late program being aired due to technical errors, and one of our guests stuck actually in Liverpool at the moment. She went on a conference we thought would last, this morning, but unfortunately it ran up to quite late and she's on her way back. But however, she will be here for the follow-up of the mental health discussion. And we also have a fantastic doctor from Nigeria who is also a mental health expert. He has an NGO called MANI, which is Mentally Awareness Nigerian Initiative. And his name is Dr. Victor Hugo. And he's going to be talking quite a lot, also answering you guys' questions pertaining to the issues of mental health and how it's being tackled in Nigeria among other African communities. We're going to be talking about how it also affects people, Africans in the diaspora as well. So it's not just going to be like a little bit of issue, because the reason is this week gone was the Mental Awareness Week. And one of the reasons why I decided to choose this as the first program was to talk about the taboo, the stigma that people face when you have mental health. And unfortunately, it has become such a taboo that the discussion of saying somebody has mental health in the African society, people either make fun of you, they mock you, or they even create some sort of form of depression, to make the person feel that it's their fault that they have this issue. And we are going to be trying to find a way to make sure that how does this stigma, to stop? How do we help those in need? How do the family members also relate to those who have mental health issues? Knowing that mental health also affects people at the workplace, it affects children, believe it or not just adults. Mental health doesn't look at your whether you're black or white, or you're gay, or you're straight, or you're Muslim or Christian. It is something that it's been around for years. But unfortunately, the African culture believes that, especially in Nigerian culture, we believe that once somebody has mental health, it's probably to do with a spiritual issue, which is wrong. There are various types of mental health. You have depression, bipolar, dementia, which happens in the early stage of life. You have things like chronic depression. It could be multiple personalities, schizophrenic. So there are various types of mental health. And we're trying so hard to make sure that the African community helps those who have these issues. And it's not by stigmatizing them, creating more problems for them, making them feel as if it's their fault who they are. Some of these mental health issues are quite hereditary as well, with like bipolar and multiple personalities. With bipolar, it's something that normally happens in a female more than the male, but yet and still, it does happen in male as well. And when issues are happening, that it's mental, it affects you mentally, seeking help. Recently we heard about people committing suicide over the bridge, Echo Bridge in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, where they were sort of like, because of the suicidal depression and stuff like that. Some people hide it well. Some people are on medication. Some don't understand how this thing really affects them. Some people don't even know that they're depressed, they're on denial. And that makes it difficult for people to understand how to help them. Mental health can be seen if you're in the church, you're in the mosque. You need to help people who have this ill health. And it's not just only in the in the UK, USA, or some part of Africa. Apparently 64 million Nigerians actually suffer from mental health issues, believe it or not. In South Africa, just recently, we had 94 mental patients died because of negligence. And in Sierra Leone, the same thing as well. But unfortunately, they don't have this help. And we need to start educating, creating more awareness for people to understand that mental health is not something to hide from. It's not a taboo. You can have a mental health, and if you have mental health problem, you can still be helped. It doesn't mean because you're mentally challenged, that means at the end of the day, that's the end of the world for you. Or people will then segregate you. We need to start in our community, the African community, we need to start focusing more on helping people, coming out openly, talking about it, creating the awareness, educating people, so that they would understand that mental health issue is not just about one person tackling it all alone. There's a lot of help out there. I'm going to be bringing my lovely doctor from all the way from Nigeria, who's going to be appearing now on the video, live video with us. And he's going to be talking. I'm going to be asking him some questions. He's going to tell us how hard he's worked to, try and make sure that his organization is doing something constructive in Nigeria to help those with mental health issues, and how the challenges he has been facing, and how he's trying to also get the government involved, the Nigerian government involved in also in helping those with mental health condition, and how people are beginning to understand more that it has nothing more to do with spiritual issues. Yes, there are spiritual problems, but at the same time, some of these mental health issues are hereditary. Like I said earlier on, some of those things are things that, later on in life you might develop it. Children have mental health issues, and it's not as if it's something that we need to shy away from. So for me personally, one of the good, how you feel, you can share up stories about whether you know somebody or a family member. We don't have to mention their names or nothing. We'll just talk about how you're helping to deal with it. You could be a carer to a mental health patient. You could be, where you'll be able to tell us how you're finding it difficult. You could be a patient that needs help. You don't know who to go to. We will be able to address, we'll let you know where you can go to seek for help, not just in the UK, but also in Nigeria, among other countries as well that you belong to. There's quite a lot of, the World Health is also doing a lot of things to help the mental health issues that is affecting a lot of people worldwide. So we need to go and speak to my darling doctor, Dr. Victor Hugo, who is a psychiatric doctor. He has his PhD, and also he has an angel, like I said earlier on, called Manning, Mentally Awareness Nigerian Initiative Organization. And from my conversation with him, he's been telling me quite a lot of things he's been facing, in Nigerian community over in Nigeria, and how difficult it's been. But the fact that there's a lot of, we're even told that we only have 250 psychiatrics, doctors in the whole of Nigeria. Can you believe that? A country with 36 states, only 250 psychiatric doctors. It's a sad thing to know. And there's still people roaming around the streets of Nigeria who are medically ill. But because they're not diagnosed properly, people don't understand that this is an issue that needs to be taken care of, but via medication even. So, have we got Dr. Victor Hugo online? Hello, Dr. Hugo? Hello? I think there's a bit of a problem with our technical this thing. Can you hear me, Dr. Hugo?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Oh, fantastic. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Thank you for joining Facts of Life with Abolitious, where the truth is being said or told the way it is. It's a great honor and pleasure
Yeah, I'm
having you
happy
on
to
the
be here.
program.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
happy to be here as well.
oh, bless you. Now, we're talking about the situation, your NGO. Can you tell us a little bit more about your NGO and how you've actually decided, what prompted you to go into, um, you know, creating such a fantastic NGO to help people with mental health in Nigeria? And what are the
Oh, okay.
challenges you faced? And what are the things so far you've actually had to deal with? And how are you managing to still try and educate and create awareness with people over there to understand the situation? That mental
Oh,
health is
okay.
not is a medical problem, more of a
Yeah,
spiritual problem.
yeah. Okay. My organization is Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative, and it's more of an organization that's focused on creating awareness to mental health issues as well as creating that route between the masses and mental health professionals because you find that they actually, like you said, they're few, so they're actually very hard to assess. Okay, and also we help to. Our main purpose is to increase the mental health literacy level in Nigeria because we believe that if the literacy level is increased, then it means that more people will present in the hospitals and hopefully more focus will be put on mental health and mental health issues. Now, my motivation basically because I'm actually someone that copes with depression, so it's a personal basis for me. So that's one of the reasons why we thought about going into, or I thought about having such an organization set up. And when I was in medical school, I went through a phase in my life where that was when I got diagnosed, and it was a tough period for me because initially, I didn't want to accept that something was wrong, but
Certainly.
at some point, I decided that I had to do something about it if not I was going to miss out on medical school and not finish. I got to one of my lecturers who was a psychiatrist, and I got diagnosed and I got treated, and I'm happy. I'm here, so
I
which
think
means it's
I
just
think a lot of
perfectly.
people don't understand that despite if you have a mental health issue, you can live a normal life. I think
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. Officially,
stigma and
yeah,
exactly for you to be talking
yeah.
about your own
So
personal
people,
experience is absolutely quite fantastic and overwhelming that you're able to say, look, I've been there myself. And I think many of us can also relate to that, especially postnatal depression also causes mental health issues. You can have depression at one time in your life, bipolar, like I stated earlier on. And, there's quite a lot of issues, a lot of mental health issues that people don't understand exist. Hello? I think it's frozen again. Hello? I think we're gonna get our doctor back, and as you can hear from what he was saying, that he himself has also suffered it, depression. So obviously, this is something that it's not about whether you're down, and that means that the stigma about you being isolated. It's more of you understanding that look, there are medical conditions that can be helped, and once there's a treatment for it, you can live a normal life. And for me personally, I think even the children, as I stated earlier on as well, have depression. They also suffer from mental condition. And the way to help children is sometimes bullying. Bullying, there is adult bullying as well, but with children, making them feel down. Sometimes they're in an abusive relationship where they're seeing their parents fighting all the time, psychologically affects them. Some are being traumatized through, sexual molestation. So all those things actually trigger mental health issues in kids. whereby psychologically they can't deal with things properly anymore. And then they become so isolated, they start to get depressed, they start to feel as if it's their fault. Medically, they don't function anymore like they're supposed to. The normality in their life stops. So many a times these are things that we need to start looking forward to in the African community. We need to address issues. Abusive relationships like domestic violence, emotional abuse, mental violence as well, where there is consistent abuse, consistent putting down, disrespecting, insulting, deliberately intimidating people, trying to, psychologically tamper with their brain in order for them not to, function properly, because then they become a reckless, and this is how mental health starts. Yes, some people will say some myth of the African thing is that when somebody offends you, they medically put them, into a situation where they would just go mad. And this has always been a belief that once you see a mad person on the streets in Nigeria, that person was spiritually attacked. Forgetting that it could be something in the genes, in the hereditary of the family. It could be that the person was depressed. Medically, they've gone undiagnosed. So at the end of the day, it becomes worse. And all they need is just a little bit of medication, a little tender care, help to make them understand that they still belong in the society. I think we're able to get our Dr. Hugo back. Okay, we're still trying to get him. So you, the viewers, I want you guys to be able to come out and tell us what your experience is. The telephone number to call is 0208 0046 100. I repeat, 0208 0046 100. Or you can also call the mobile number 0734 1234 560. I'll be expecting the calls for you guys to give us a call. Let us know what you think about mental health and how this affects you. What would you like the government to do in Nigeria more, creating the awareness? What are the things that you feel is lacking? Because it says that 64 million Nigerians suffer from mental health, one mental health issue or the other, which is a lot for a population of 150 million or more. So you can imagine that, that is a big fraction. And how are you helping to make sure that the society, you as a citizen of a society, is also aware of what is going on medically, mental health issues, not just in the diaspora, but in Nigeria and other African countries? What are you doing? What is your contributing impact in helping to create a positive environment for people who suffer from mental health? Mental health also, before I forget, goes with learning disability as well. And the experience result from increase of likelihood of having issues. When you have mental health, sometimes also affect the learning ability as well, whereby medically, if a person has a bit of mental problem and they're not able to function properly, their learning also gets affected as well, because it's either they do things backwards, which people call retardation. Unfortunately, a word like that, it's a very sensitive thing. We don't normally use it when we're around people who have learning difficulties with mental health. So it is something that I believe that consistently we'll be able to make sure that we, the Africans in diaspora, helps those who suffer mental health. We are going to go on a break shortly. Please stay tuned. And hopefully by the time we come back, we're going to get the doctor back online again. So we'll be able to speak to him, and he's still going to be able to tell us more about his organization, mental health organization in Nigeria, and also how he's also using his own experience to help others. Thank you very much.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
We're back. Thank you very much for the short break we quickly had. We're trying to make sure that we got Dr. Victor Hugo from Nigeria back online, so that he can give us a little bit more of his experience and answer a couple of questions regarding the mental health issues. Dr. Hugo? Hello? Okay. Still the technical issue. I'm ever so sorry. Unfortunately, we're still trying to get it back. The network is extremely very bad. But we do appreciate the fact that he's actually coming live from Nigeria to join the program and to make sure that he's able to make his own impact. For those of you who need help here in the diaspora in the UK or America, there is a lot of helpline that will be put back. We're going to be putting on the program for you guys to see, where you can call in and speak to somebody to let us know, if you're not alone. And this is the problem, that a lot of people feel isolated. They're too ashamed to talk about their problems, because the believe once they say something about it, people make fun of them. But it shouldn't be that way. We should be able to help one another. We should be able to create a constructive environment, a positive environment, irrespective of your health issue. As an African community, we should be in unity. So when people have issues, it's not for you to mock them. It's not for you to make them feel uncomfortable. It's not for you to make them feel as if it's their fault. Because medical issues sometimes, you can't help, you can't predict, you can't understand certain medical conditions. But if you have it, you just have to learn to either live with it or learn to, accept the situation and try and make yourself better. So it's really difficult and hard for anybody to then turn around and say, you're medically unfit. We don't want to talk to you because you've got mental health issues, or you're going to, pass it on to me or my child or something, because there's another thing that people believe in is that, this person is going to, I can get contacted from this person because of the health issues. No, it's not contaminated. You cannot contact it from A to B. It's something that, unfortunately, the medical background of it depends on your own genes and your own medical condition itself. So we are going to be going back. I'm hoping we can get the doctor back online, and he's going to be able to speak further about his own condition. Having said that, there is another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, especially on the mental health. We're going to be looking at other issues of how challenging it is in society and the workplace. unfortunately, in the workplace, many people, many employers don't understand that when an employee is medically unfit, just because they have mental health does not necessarily mean they cannot work. It's just managing their condition that is very important. And this is something that needs to be addressed in the society. Oh, we're not able to get him. I'm told by our producer that unfortunately the thing is messing up. So my profound apologies. But there will be a follow-up on the program regarding the mental health issue and where both guests are going to be coming. But today we're just going to talk generally about the whole idea of mental health, how the issues and how it affects and what are the ways of helping to improve it among the African community, and how we can understand that this is not a disease that would then you contact from another person. Unfortunately, it is something that is affecting us in our society, and this needs to stop. We need to make sure that we help those who are vulnerable in the society that have mental health issues. Schizophrenia is like when you have an imaginatory, you think somebody's abusing, paranoid schizophrenic. That is something to do with being paranoid, thinking everybody's after you when they're not. Where it's being termed as a spiritual thing in Nigeria, in other African countries as well. But it is an ill health issue. Hoarding, where people keep a lot of stuff, it is a mental health medical condition as well. And with hoarding, you have all these things there, and people just end up. I think somebody's calling at the moment. Are you able to get the caller? Sorry for that, caller. Please call back again. Unfortunately, the line went off. 1 second, please. Are we able to get the caller? Unfortunately, we're having a lot of technical issues today, so it's a bit difficult at the moment trying to make sure that the whole thing is, and it's also raining here in the UK, so some of the technical thing is being messed up. So my profound apologies for that. Don't mind me, we are still trying to make sure that we get the whole thing done properly for you guys. Please share the program. Let us create more awareness of mental health with issues among Africans in the diaspora. Let us be able to. Thank you, Ayo. You're saying nice one. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Olori. Thank you very much, guys. I want you guys to please share the video. Let us be able to educate and create more awareness with other people. And any questions, please do not hesitate to phone in on 0208 0046 100. 0208 0046 100. Or you can reach us on the mobile 07 34 123 4560. We are going to I think one of the the admin is going to actually put the phone number. Okay, yes, I'm being told the doctor is back. Sorry about this, Dr. Victor Hugo. For the fact that there's a lot of technical, and it's also raining, so I think that, and also with the Nigerian medical technical thing over there. Are you able to hear me properly now?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
great.
Brilliant. Yes. So I want you to be able to tell our audience at the moment. You were talking about how you also suffered a bit of mental health issue, which was depression, and how it helped you, and you decided to use it in a positive way to help others in that condition as well.
Yes, indeed. Okay, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, fantastic. I can hear you well. I'm
Oh,
sure the audience
okay,
can
great.
also hear
So
you.
I was saying, okay, so I was saying that that was part of the reason why I decided to start up. By the time we were starting up, I looked around and we didn't see any active mental health organization in Nigeria, which means that it was more or less a very neglected issue in this country, and the way the young people know how to do it, and that's take it to social media. Why not just take advantage of social media and see how far we can take it? And we decided to a and I am mentally aware of to get compromised and pledges and just to show the support for the cause because that in the more focus on mental health awareness and that was in June 2016 and since then to have at least more campaigns different weeks and we've dealt with depression, bipolar disorder, eating disorders, bullying, self-harm, suicide. This month we focus on child mental health, includes autism, disorders, and also schizophrenia in children, depression in children. So come to deal with a lot of issues, and our focus has been on educating Nigerians on these issues. We have a lot of tweet sessions where we educate them on the various issues. We try to on Facebook. We have some very nice creatives that tend to teach them about these illnesses. And we have stories on our website. We have blogs, we have blogs about stories that are going on mental illness is an organization, and so that has been how we've been trying to start up. Say almost a year now. It's almost 1 year. I don't have any more. That is the last.
Okay, thank you so much. I can your story is quite inspiring as well, and I think a lot of people because the thing with we Nigerians or Africans in general, because the topic is not just per se about Nigerians alone, it's about every
Yeah,
single Africans out there that talking
yeah,
about issues like that makes you very vulnerable and exposed, and I think when you use your own positive experience to help others as well, I think, like you rightly said, every
mm,
single person, including myself, has suffered a form of depression or stressful period in
mm.
life, and stress also causes mental health issues. And
Yes, it does.
to
It
be
does.
able to come out and use it positively to help others, there's nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately, a lot of people see it as, like you rightly said, a taboo. Let me ask you this: are the government what
Yeah,
is the government doing with your? Are you able to get the celebrities in Nigeria to also? Because I've been seeing quite a lot of things, and I think what had happened
yeah,
was, the issue of when people were jumping over the bridge,
yeah. Incident
and
Lagos.
a lot of people came up and they were talking about it. Trying to say that, speak to
Mm.
people and stuff. But after that, I've not heard much about it. So how have you been able to
Yeah,
encourage or get the government,
yeah.
what the federal and the state government that you are residing in, to do for mental health?
Okay. I'm staying in Lagos State, and after that, the Lagos State Government Response Unit got my organization to come and train suicide their suicide responders. They had um they have this emergency line for calling for accidents and fire and all that. So they said, they thought they could come that we could come train them best suicide calls. So we haven't been able to get across to the federal government with regards for that one issue and make sure that people know about mental health literacy. But we are working on a petition to be able to reach Nigerian Senate so that they can look to revise the mental, which has been, it's sort of like a very big issue for us, because once the Health Act of Nigeria is revised or reviewed by the government, then it would mean that more focus will go into health, and more focus will go into looking at how to care for mental illness. We are still using the act, which was affected some men, and there hasn't been any revision since then. So you can see how backwards our mental health care system is, or it's actually non-existent system. Yeah. So we are
I do
trying to
understand
see
what you're
how
saying.
far.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, I was saying that trying to see how we can set up a petition that Nigerians can sign to get the attention of the Nigerian Senate towards reviewing the Mental Health Act. The Mental Health Act is a policy review that tends to increase the focus on mental health across, primary healthcare, secondary healthcare, and tertiary healthcare. And it's something that hasn't worked for a while. Okay, I don't know if you got that.
I did. Because I was actually, as a matter of fact, I was actually going to ask you about the key policies decisions. And it's a good thing you brought that up, because here in the UK, it is vital and very important. And I know about the USA as well, that especially the Western world in general, they make it it's of importance that those key policies are implemented. And I think, like you rightly said,
In place,
Nigeria
yeah.
and other African countries need to do more
Yeah.
to help the mental health patients, mental health people that are out there
True.
who,
True.
unfortunately, when there's there's no major issue happening, or people are not talking about it more, or they're making less of a priority, and this is the thing that is affecting a citizen.
Yeah.
Because if you can have 64 million Nigerians with a mental health problem, that says a lot. And
Yes, it does.
unfortunately, the policies needs to be implemented. And like you rightly said, I totally support you from a human rights activist side, that if there's a petition on Mental Health Week in Nigeria, because Mental Health Week was just last week gone. And I read an article, I think it was on Daily Post, or is it This Day, before coming to your website. And what I saw there was that the guy, the person who wrote it, is it Ode Yemi or something, I can't remember, Ode Tunde, and he then turned around and said mental health should not be celebrated for just 1 week. It should be an ongoing thing. Mental health week
should be for years. It should be years. It should be continuous.
It should be continuous. It should be consistent, so that it does not actually, people just wait for that 1 week in a year to create the awareness that, mental health does exist. And I totally agree with him, especially the fact that African society, community at the moment, they are still trying to come to terms with mental health issues. A lot of people don't understand they exist. So, and once you're able to see one or two things, or the accumulation of behavior, too much alcohol drinking also causes mental health problems. And a lot of people don't know this. There's so much vast variety of issues or things that causes problems with mental health that people don't know about. And they need to implement those policies. Review the mental health, and I don't mind coming with you to sponsor the bill in Nigeria. I think we have to make sure that certain things, because we need to focus on how to make sure that the vulnerable masses of the society are getting the benefit of being the citizen of the African countries. Hello? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, you're there. Okay, fantastic. I can hear you now. So, is it something that you're going to be doing in the nearest future? Are you having people phoning your helpline? Because I know you sent me the helpline.
Oh yeah.
Email.
Yes, so we do. We do have people calling, more than 10 calls. Yeah, we have more than 10 calls every day. Yeah, really? It's increasing per day, because people are realizing, yes, they can talk to us, and they're realizing that they can get some kind of help from us. And We have more than four. Have many people available to reach out to them as well. We have a volunteer base of more than 300 young people who are interested in health advocacy in different aspects.
I'm quite impressed. I'm
We've been
quite
able to,
impressed. Yes. Because I think
yeah, Nigerians
some
are
of the
picking up.
reactions, yes,
Yeah.
I think they will, this also is going to be, this program is also going to help as a stepping stone
Yes.
for a lot of
Yes, it
African
will.
communities out there as well, because I want people to share the program, share it on your pages, let people know that, you know, mental health issues is not for people to be stigmatized and stereotyped against. It is mental health
Exactly.
we've got.
Exactly.
We're talking about it continuously in the African society, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, in South Africa, you name it, all over the African continent. We need to start addressing the issue of mental health properly. There's no reason to feel
Yes.
ashamed that you suffer from something. If you're on medication, if you lapse, how people would help you to go back on the medication, trying to make sure that it's not just about, oh, spiritually somebody has been, you know, spiritually harmed, that they can't even think straight anymore. That's because they've done something to somebody, they
Yeah.
offended, so they've turned them into a mental case. It's not about that. That's one of the
Yeah. I have a lot to say about. I
yeah.
have a lot to say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that we can co-manage. We can work together with the, like if you have someone that is going through depression, yes, the pastor can pray, but let the person go to see a psychiatrist, so they can work hand in hand. It has to be like management. The pastor is praying and the person is taking his antidepressants. It works for both ways because religion sometimes can serve as a protective factor and prevent people from committing suicide. They want to hell, so it protects people from taking that extra step to take their life. But Nigerian pastors and Nigerian or African pastors and African religious homes should realize that they can hand with the doctor to make sure that someone actually gets the help that they need,
Exactly. I
rather
think
rather
with the
than having them.
religious, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right with the religious aspect
Yes.
as well. And I think a lot of times, sadly, the religious leaders themselves, both the Muslim clerics and the religious pastors, Christian pastors,
Yes,
we need to
exactly.
do a lot to help people with mental health. It's not always about that. Is
Yeah.
somebody's family doing that person? It is a medical condition.
Just
There's
send them to
different
the
types of
hospital.
mental health.
Yes.
So they need help.
Yeah.
Medical treatment first before spiritual treatment. It could be something that they can just be
Yeah.
given the medication to. That, with dementia, I've been seeing a lot of videos, which is very heartbreaking. Elderly women who
Yeah.
don't even know what they're doing,
Getting
being
lost.
stripped
Yeah.
naked, that they're flying like a witch that flew from the
Mm.
from the sky and fell off. What is that all about? These others that they do suffer from
Nigerians and their superstition.
dementia,
Yeah.
and they then
Yeah.
try
So
to
people
put
don't know where they are.
blood of Jesus, when you're not even understanding that this woman has dementia, and this which is a mental health.
True.
And
True.
the sad thing about it is the way that it's being carried. A lot of people, don't believe in things like that. They believe that no, it's a medical this thing. A woman
Yes.
who's
True.
a man who is defecating in himself, he doesn't know what he's doing anymore. He's at that vulnerable stage. So in a community,
True.
the society, and I think the government also, like Riley said, African government need to do more. They need to make sure that they
Yes.
try so hard to create the awareness that mental health is not something that you can just take lightly. You need to help. It's not about a person going mad suddenly. It could be anything can trigger it. It could be shock. It could be, you can then find yourself where you don't want to be. So I'm gonna ask you,
Yeah.
Dr. Hugo, you mentioned something that caught my how long were you, the situation that happened to you, was it are you permanently okay now, or is this something that is
No,
ongoing, or
I still have some. It's kind of a taboo to say there's a cure in mental, for mental illness that stays with you. But you learn to cope with it. You learn how to handle yourself. So some breakdowns now and again. As you know, I know how to take care of myself, but I still have some breakdowns. I still have some relapses. But all in all, I know how to handle them. I know when they are coming. I know the signs, and it's not because I'm a doctor. It's because I took the extra effort of having a treatment journal. So I record my signs and the symptoms and how I break down. So I know when
Fantastic.
to go to the for an yeah a reevaluation. So I believe it's a model that I give everybody
Yeah.
that I talk to. If I
Okay.
speak to my model of managing with a lot of people, so yeah,
And I think a lot of people would probably, I pray to God that what you just said will open a floodgate of a lot of people coming out to say, you know what, I put my hands up.
yes,
I'm also going through something similar, but I'm able to manage it with some medication. I'm able to manage my
yeah, therapy.
health issues, therapy. There's counseling. I remember the doctor that said
Mm,
committed suicide over the bridge had epilepsy,
mm,
and unfortunately he didn't realize that, I think the stigma, or because of who he was, he couldn't get married. But it shouldn't be that way, because I mean, unfortunately, because people don't understand the condition. People were, I'm afraid,
yeah,
who have breast and female genitals and male genitals at the same time. I'm Freudians. I can't remember what they're called. Sorry, my tongue is a bit wonky.
hermaphrodite, hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodites.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. That's the word I'm looking for. And when they see them, they say they are, they're from they're demons. They
yeah, they call them a
attack them.
name. Yes,
But it's a medical condition. And psychologically, they also suffer from mental health, because they don't understand why they've got both a man and a woman's private genital parts. And,
yeah,
things like this are something that I think people need to be more educated on, to understand that, it could happen to anybody. So you can, and
mm-hmm.
mental health can happen to you at any stage of your lifetime. It doesn't necessarily mean that,
Yes, indeed.
you're fine now. It could be when you're growing older, you end up with dementia, or maybe in between,
True.
something major would happen into your life that will psychologically affect you, depress you, make you feel down, and then you become a vulnerable,
Yeah.
destructive mag. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, if they don't understand that this is not your fault, and then wants to try and say that because of that there's something about you, then they're wrong. It's just ignorance. And like the Bible says, my
Yes,
people
it is.
perish because of not lack of knowledge and wisdom. So the more knowledge you have
Yeah.
about something, the more wise you become. And
Mm-hmm.
for issues like this to be happening, and people then say, oh, because you've come out and said it, then that means you're a bad. No, you're not a bad person. I think it takes a bold person to be courageous enough to come out and talk about issues. A lot of
Yeah.
us, including myself, sometimes we shy away from, because of, you want to protect your image and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, these things are not
Yeah.
something you can hide. It comes out
True.
eventually.
True.
So,
It comes out. Yeah. It comes out eventually. So
and are we gonna see more of your NGO doing further things in future? Are you planning any
yes.
massive
Yes.
rally for mental health patients in Nigeria? Mental health, creating more awareness, or is it just gonna be
Yeah.
you just silently working behind closed doors?
No. No. We are actually the most active mental health organization in Nigeria. So far. And last month, last year October was Mental Health Month, and we had this food fair where we got people together. Young people came together. More than 170 people came together, and we spoke extensively to them about mental illness. We asked them for their opinions on how to go about with campaigning and how we can reach out to more people. And it was a very great event, and we're having the same event next next October, next mental health month. And
Okay.
it's something that is going to be bigger. We're expecting thousands of young people coming together to talk about their mental illness, or to listen
Let me
to
just ask,
to um
are your
to listen
target
to us
just
talk
the
about
young?
mental health and mental illnesses.
Okay. are your target just
Yeah.
the young
Okay.
youth, or are you sort of like
Yeah.
making it
There's a
into
reason
the
for
older
that. There's a
generation
reason for
as
that.
well?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Younger people, it's we don't have any enough resources at the moment to be able to handle both old and young, and so we had to decide which one was easier for us because for younger person it's easier to convince them about mental illness and about mental health. But for older person that believes in there's much more spiritual. Older people are actually much more inclined to culture and religion, and it's harder to convince them about mental illnesses. So it's there to focus our resources on convincing younger people, and it's in good stead because we all believe that young people are the future of the world. So if we start from young people, if we start telling them about mental illnesses from at this young age, then it means that the future is bright for mental illness in Nigeria because then that means that the people grow up to managing it as a condition, as a medical condition, because that's what we're trying to teach them. But that doesn't mean that we don't interact with older people. We do, but they are not our primary focus for now because of like I
You
said,
are you
resources
able to
are
are you
stringent.
able to so how do you do that? Do you go to schools? Do you go to universities? How are you creating that
Yes, we
awareness?
do.
How are you speaking with the younger youth?
Yes, we do. We do go to universities. We've gone to about two universities so far, and we intend to go to at least five more universities by the end of the year. We've started reaching out to high schools and secondary schools to see how we can try to look at and include mental health literacy in their extracurricular activities. So we want to form mental health clubs across universities and secondary schools, and we're calling them social advocacy movements. So we have young people social advocacy movements that we're creating in different universities and different high schools. So it's something that we're working towards, and you find more young people online. So just having them, having our campaigns online is more or less reaching out to more people. And at least 90% of the 300 something volunteers that we have are young people, who are very young people, and they're very active and they're very enthusiastic about it. They're very passionate about the cause. So it's very encouraging that we have young people who are interested in what we are doing, and it helps to push the project forward.
Um, what you're saying is so fantastic. But my own little inputs from also what I just wanted to also say is that
Yeah,
encouraging the older generation as well is very important.
yeah,
And also, because focusing, like you rightly said, they are more online, they understand what the situation is, they understand,
yeah,
they're more aware of the new technology, the social media, how that is helping people. And I think you should also create workshop for the older generation. But we are gonna have
yeah. We're working
we're
on that.
definitely gonna have a follow up. I think it's probably gonna be not this week, the following week after, where
Okay.
we should be able to see where people. Unfortunately, some few people did try to call it, but we kept on having. There's
Yeah,
been a terrible bad network. Sadly, because this is the
yeah,
first ed program on Facts of Life
yeah,
with Abolitius. And but it's been a fantastic this thing speaking with you. I've learned quite a few things
yeah.
as
It's
well
been.
from you, and I think the awareness is going to continue.
Yes, it's
We're
gonna
going to be
expand.
involved from the our end from the HeritageUK television, trying to work with your organization as well. When you
Yeah,
have any issues pertaining to making sure that we create that awareness, you can advertise
yeah.
on the program as well to let us know that when you want to do that, and then we can take it from there.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
think,
that's great.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Good. I'm very happy to speak to you, Dr. Victor Hugo. And I'm sure we're still going to talk
I'm
afterwards
excited.
anyway, because the program is
Yes,
just
we
about
will.
to come to an end. It's the first one,
Okay.
so definitely we will have a follow up where the other guest, who unfortunately couldn't come today, due to the fact that she went on, she was actually at Liverpool for a conference, and we thought maybe she would be here, she would have gotten here on time, but sadly she couldn't make it on time. But anyway, so far so good. I know that you guys have enjoyed the program. Thank you for all the positive feedbacks from all those who wrote on the live program. We are going to be back next week Wednesday, same time, and we hopefully things will be totally different. So you guys have been fantastic. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for also trying to communicate by phoning in, and sadly the phone issue, we couldn't do anything about it. But thank you to the wonderful producers who have also done a fantastic job. Despite all the negativity, we still managed to triumph over it. I would see you guys next week Wednesday, same time at 8 p.m. on Facts of Life with Abolitious, where the truth is being said or told the way it is. Have a fantastic week ahead. God bless.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.